and welcome to my studio and to my sketchbook. Every product I have ever designed has started as a loose sketch or doodle in here and is then turned into something gorgeous for you to use in your creative practice. But I now want to take you on the entire journey. I want to share my sketches with you, show you the process of how they get turned from a sketch into something that you can use in your creative practice. Today we're going to do just that. I'm going to give you a flip through of this. We are going to do some sketching together. We are going to turn that into a Digi stamp and we are going to create something gorgeous. Even better, that Digi stamp will be available as a free download, so check the description box below for that. And without further ado, let's just stop talking and get crafting. So this journey starts on September the 1st of this year, where I've decided that I'm actually going to knuckle down and create a daily sketchbook practice. This is definitely, after a year of reflection, something that has been really missing within my artistic life and something that I want to get to grips with. One of the people that has made this more achievable for me is Chantel Arts, and she has what she calls the Daily Doodle Diary, and she creates art in it every day, even if sometimes it's just a quick doodle. So I have a practice of trying to get up and sketch first thing in the morning. I find that gives me a much better focus and possibly a healthier dopamine hit to start the day with. But there are times where I find myself, it's late at night and I have not yet done a sketch and I have to do a quick doodle. And so in those occasions, I will quickly sketch something in just a couple of minutes. And it still means that I have done some form of daily practice. The reason I needed to do this was so that, that's a case of a very quick one, was so that I am building up experience. That's another quick one. Another, building up experience and drawing out of passion rather than drawing for a need to create to sell, which obviously I do by creating craft products for you guys to play with. So now I want to take you on my entire journey, that when we create, that you see something that goes from my sketch pad to your craft desk. And that is the point of this series. So today we are going to grab my sketchbook and we are going to sit and draw something together that you will then be able to download and craft with. So these videos are going to be slightly more vlog style. You can see here I am sketching in my living room. I very rarely sketch in my studio, and to be honest I sketch mostly in bed, but we're not going to film that because that's just not pleasant for anyone. But I do want to share more of my sketchbook process with you. It's just that I came up with this video concept last week, was really excited, wanted to do it this week, and so I haven't captured as much footage as we will have in the future. Yeah, and I'm really excited about where we're going to go with this particular series. I think it will be fun for you to see the entire process. What was really interesting about this is once I'd come up with the idea of this video, is I was like, oh, I need to draw like a snowman or something wintry because we're moving into that season and that's what people will need. And all creative juices went out the window because I was creating because I had to create something that was going to be useful. Whereas what I actually really wanted to draw was mushrooms. I'm just so inspired by mushrooms right now. I'd spent the weekend looking at them. We went to the forest, we went to Reelig Forest, and honestly it was carpeted with mushrooms. It was beautiful. And then we went to Aviemore. We were there on a conference, but even in the car park there was just loads of mushrooms, like an actual real life toadstool, which I'm not sure I've ever seen before, and these gorgeous inkwell mushrooms. And obviously I know inkwell mushrooms exist, but I've never seen one in real life, and I took these really cool photos and that's what I wanted to draw. So I was like, no, this is what this series is about. It's about sharing your passion, what brings you alive and makes you feel inspired, and then turning it into craft products. And hopefully that means you will get better characters and things to work with because it's come from a completely different place. It's come from a place of like, I'm feeling inspired in the moment, this is what I'm going to create, and not like, I have to bring out a range now, so what am I going to make? Which I'm so excited about the new direction that we are going with this. Once I have
played in my sketchbook. I much prefer playing with pencil and paper. I just like the feel of it. I don't really enjoy sketching on my iPad, which is why I don't start there. Probably lessen the process. But what I tend to do is take a photograph, then sketch over the lines on my iPad. I use an app called Procreate, and it helps me to be able to tidy things up, and then I print it out ready to craft with.
So there we have it, from a sketchbook to craft desk. With it being a Digi stamp, you can resize. So I have just put multiple little ink shrooms onto these pages. I've got one on a mixed media card, one on a super smooth card. I'm just going to have a lovely time colouring in, and then we will turn these into some gorgeous craft projects.
So I am going to start off by having a colouring session. I plan on doing a couple of watercolour things, and I do find for when I do watercolour, I like to let things dry naturally, especially because of this technique that I'm doing now. I'm sort of doing wet on wet, and that dark colour is bleeding into the cream, and it just gives a gorgeous look, and I just like to let it dry on its own. I think it just turns out beautifully rather than force it with a heat gun. So yeah, I'm hoping that you're all going to be really excited and enjoy this particular series. Now, as I said, this is a free Digi stamp, so you can download it. The link will be in the description box below. You just pop in your email, and once you've added your email, you will be given another button or tab to be able to then download it. And I would absolutely love to see what you create with it. So if you do create with it, please do tag me, let me know. I know I need to do something with the community tabs on YouTube. I will have a little look. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram, so you can let me know and share. We also have a Facebook group as well, so you can join me there, and lots of people share their GMC makes, so there's plenty of inspiration. I also go live every Monday, so on Monday I will be live using this little guy again and creating something else that's gorgeous. So for the first one, I went for the very traditional colours, but one of the things I love about stamps is how versatile they can be and how you can make them look completely different. And so this one, I wanted to go really colourful, because we are living in imaginary land anyway, with a mushroom that's catching the own ink off his head, is what's it called? Yeah, the top of it. And we may as well have rainbow paint as well. Why not? So I done that. I've also reprinted a couple of these out really big, because I really wanted to be able to build a bit more of a scene. So yeah, and giving it some little rosy cheeks. He's so cute. I'm so happy. And then finally, I have been seeing this trend on Colour Talk. I love Colour Talk. Colour Talk gets a lot of bad press on YouTube, and I'm here to speak for the Colour Talk people. I love it. I have been colouring for years. Yeah, I've had my Copic markers for about 24 years now, and I have been colouring for a long time, and I took classes, and it's my thing to do. And yet, what I have learned from watching Colour Talk and these really cool, interesting techniques is amazing. So yeah, thank you for the inspiration, people. So I love this idea. It's kind of like, you're supposed to do it from a light source, and I didn't really have a light source, so we're just making the inside of his mushroom head the light source, and you create this rainbow effect. You can just see it in the top corner there, and you'll see it more when we craft with it, and then you do the rest in black and white, and I think that's really cool. So this is me leaving all of these guys to dry, leave them overnight. They are all sat on my worktop or ready for the next day. So I come back the next day, and I'm going to make a background that pretty much matches the mushroom. This is a brand new art journal. Yeah, I can't help myself. I'm obsessed by art journals. And I'm going to use the exact same technique that I use to actually colour the mushroom, and yeah, put that together. It's a really quick and simple page. I am just using the mushroom as is, framing it using like outlining it and sticking it down. And then because this is my front page of my art journal, I always like to put something kind of motivational, just to remind you that an art journal is a place to play and to learn and to develop your style, and not as a place for perfection. That I have just printed out a sentiment on my computer, and it's about to come in just a second once I finish doing my doodly border, and it's just got messy but perfect. It was very white because I'd used printer paper, so I just wanted to knock that whiteness back, and I added a little bit of antique stain of distress ink just to kind of make it look a bit more aged and match the creaminess of the background, and then stick that down. So that is the first page using little ink shroom. Oh, he's just gorgeous. I really hope you love him. And that is this page all done. The next page we will do will be with rainbow shroom. So here she is. Oh, she's just so cute. And I'm using an art journal again, but this is an art journal that I have created myself using an old book. So this is The Enchanted Forest, one of my favourite childhood books. And yes, I've been using it a lot with the Enchanted Forest collection that I brought out earlier this year. And again, because it was a mushroom and forest, I thought it kind of suited the theme. Very whimsical, and you feel like there's a story to tell in the faraway tree. I thought he kind of suited that. So I've just put a little bit of clear gesso down because I wanted to keep the words in the background. But also, if you're going to start putting mediums and things down, there does need to be some sort of a base. So I did that first, then I've just pulled out a stencil and popped some pink hearts everywhere. I've lost my big circle stencil. I don't know where that is. It's very sad. So I've ended up with a different stencil that's just got these tiny little dots on them. So I am just going to put those down. And so that we've got the sort of main pink and blue elements that we have in the actual coloured mushroom as well. And yeah, I think that kind of works. I also put it in 3 different areas. So I decided that I needed to do some shadowing because, you know, it's me. I can't live without shadowing or doodly borders. And then I thought I'll just put a little bit of colour in the top corner. And whilst I was doing that, I was like, oh, I could have like rainbow coloured rain. Seeing as we've got like rainbow coloured drips dripping from the mushroom, let's have rainbow coloured rain. I mean, I say rainbow, there's actually only 2 colours, so it probably doesn't count as a rainbow at all. Multicoloured rain. Pink and blue rain. Fantasy rain. Give it a name, it's fine. So because I'd gone with that sort of cool rainy background, and also I just feel every scene that you build needs a cloud. I'm obsessed with clouds, and it's been far too long since we've had cloudage on a project. So I've stamped some out. These are some of the white rabbit stamps. I love these. Wendy designed these, they're just gorgeous. So I'm painting them in the same colours that I did with the mushroom. We've got the same main colours as those, and then we will just pop them on the page. I like to try and make them go a little bit further, so if I pop them off the edge a little bit and then chop them down, I can use them on the other side. It saves me having to like stamp and fussy cut 6 clouds. I sort of make the 3 that I've got go a little bit further just by chopping into them. So I've kind of put that little cloud in the crease, and then the bits that I've chopped off are just on the corner, so it looks like there's clouds going across the whole sky. I hate wastage, what can I say? We have to use every single tiny little bit, and I find that if I put those bits back into my bit box, they don't get used, whereas if I just use them in the moment, they do. To carry on the theme of the little coloured raindrops, I just add those in and stamp a few mushrooms, and then I'm using my Ohuhu paint markers just to go over this. I have to say, paint markers have been revolutionary in my art journal practice. I do love mixed media, and I love putting different things down, but you get to a point where you can't layer anymore, or mediums react with each other, especially water-based mediums, or plus there's gesso down there which makes the surface kind of rough, so it makes your pencils look a bit strange. And yeah, so acrylic markers have been my go-to. I love them, and I don't know why, I prefer them so much more to actual acrylic paint. So I just sort of fill in a few things, add some doodles, decided it needs some white splashes, so we have some white acrylic ink, and then finally a sentiment. Do love a sentiment on a journal page. These are from Dawn and from Shiny Silver Treasures. I love her sentiments, and I just added that to the page there, and yeah, framed the sentiment. It's just also that page side was looking quite empty and it fills it a little bit, and that's that page all done too. Now you can see the finished colouring there. I love the way that glows, it looks so cool. So I've decided to just make a clean and simple card. I've pulled out a whole load of die cuts, and these are from when I went to TV. I just made loads and loads of them, and they've been sat in a corner of the room. They've not actually been put away, so they were to hand, and I thought they kind of worked. Seeing as I was in the forest when I was inspired to draw these mushrooms, we had to kind of go somewhat foresty, but I also really want to keep it clean and simple so that that colouring technique is the star of the project. So I did my trick with the pen again to frame it. Always frame things. It's really good to frame things. It makes your eye kind of draw in and see what, like, you've put all this effort into colouring, you want people to look at it, so adding a simple frame just tells the brain, look in here. It's a bit why your photographs always look better framed. So I fiddle with different configurations. I've tried to go with sort of the blacks of the kind of grayscale mushroom and then these pops of colour that match the lighting, and I just sort of fiddle around until I create a little corner detail which I think suits the image, and I stick that all down. And then I have not used gems on a project in so long, and I didn't have any black ones in my stash, but thankfully alcohol markers permanent, so we just coloured a few of those. They were brown ones anyway. I couldn't really see me using a brown gem. I don't really see the purpose of that. But anyway, we now have black ones, which suits my project perfectly. A little bit of a doodly border just to finish it off because it's me and I cannot help myself. And I think this is gorgeous. I can't wait to play with this little guy more. And more importantly, I cannot wait to see what you guys do with him. So please do download it and please do share your makes with me.
So we have gone from sketchbook to craft desk, creating a monochrome art journal page, a whimsical fanciful journal page, and a clean and simple card. Thank you for joining me and allowing me to share my sketchbook with you. If there are designs in here that you are loving and you would love to see as a stamp or as papers or whatever you fancy, let me know in the comments below. This will be a regular series on my channel. The next one is scheduled in for the December the 6th. It will be the first Friday of every month. I will give you an update in here. We will turn something into a free Digi and we will craft with it. So I hope you enjoy it and you will join me for the next one. I hope you'll also join me next week where I take on the craziest challenge I've ever taken on.